Good morning, everyone. Janie here. Welcome back. So I am obviously not at my house today. I am actually up in Redding, California, about 2 hours north of Davis, where I live, and I'm at my parents' house. And I wanted to show you guys, I thought you guys would find it interesting. They just got their landscaping installed. So I've talked about Wintour Gardens before. Wintour Gardens is a garden center here in Redding, and it's just the cutest garden center. It's about I think that they started in the 90s is what I read. It's like a family-owned company, and it's so cute. And so I'm hoping that we can go there later today just to kind of check it out. But my parents hired their landscape architect company called Windscape Designs to do their landscaping, and I thought that you guys would like to see it because they are in zone 9B just like me. However, I live in the middle of suburbia, so we get harsh weather. It's hot, it's over 100, we get wind, but not like here. You can kind of see my parents are big on living kind of far out of the country or of the city, and they really like views, which you guys will see in a second. So they are really exposed here. It is hot, there's a lot of wind, and the landscape architect or landscape designer, I don't know what you call her, but she had to work with that. And so I thought that it would be really neat to see what plants that she chose that she thought would survive well in this climate, in this harsh, really hot, really windy, beating down sun with no trees really climate. So I know a lot of you are kind of in similar climates like this, in zone 9 and Arizona and all that kind of stuff. So I thought it would be fun to see what she picked out. The other thing is they do have deer here. We have no deer, we have no bunnies, I'm in the middle of a neighborhood, so I don't have to deal with any of that, but they do have deer, and they do have a deer fence around their backyard, but in their front yard, it's open. And so the plants that she picked out for the front yard, I'll show you, those are all deer-resistant plants. So it was just really interesting to see how a professional, worked around the limitations like this. The other thing is my parents, they like to brag that their landscape architect or designer, her name is Katie, and she used to work for Google. She did the landscape for Google in Silicon Valley. So they like to say that. So it's pretty cool. So it's totally legit. It's really, really well done. And you guys have to remember, it was just put in, like they just finished like a week or two ago. So everything is brand new. Everything's just kind of getting settled in. All the plants look really, really small. So it's nothing. It's not like you would see in pictures and magazines and, on Pinterest and stuff like that yet, but I think that even just a year or two from now, it's going to look incredible. So I thought it would be cool to come here now and see what it looks like right when it was put in, and then we can do kind of some follow-ups as things grow and see what works really well and see what maybe didn't work as well. So just a little background I wanted to tell you guys. I actually didn't grow up here in Redding. I grew up in Santa Rosa, California, which is about an hour north of San Francisco. And my parents lived in their house there for like 30 years or 40 years or something like that. About 5 years ago, California started having really bad wildfires, and one of the first really bad wildfire was called the Tubbs Fire, and it took out about 5,000 homes in the Santa Rosa area, and that included my parents' home. So it was devastating for my family and I, because that was the home that I grew up in. That was my parents' home, that was our family's home base. And Jason and I happened to be on a weekend getaway. Our kids were really young then, and it was one of our first getaways, and we went to Vermont to go leaf peeping to see the leaves change. And in the middle of the night, I get a phone call from one of my high school friends telling me that my parents can evacuate to his house if they needed a safe place to go. So of course I freak out because my parents were watching my kids. Luckily they had stayed in Davis with them there. And then my parents weren't in their home when the wildfire came through because it just decimated everything. I'll show you guys a picture right here of my dad in front of what used to be our house. So, with 5,000 people losing their homes, there was no homes for anybody. So there was no rental homes that they could get. They couldn't get another house because everything had burned down. So my parents actually ended up living in a hotel for a little while. And it was devastating for my family and I. And so what they decided, my dad's a big fisherman, they decided that they wanted to move up here to Redding, where there's lots of lakes and fishing and that type of recreation. So they bought this property. And then within a couple months after buying this property, there was another wildfire. And that wildfire in Redding burnt this whole property. So luckily they hadn't started building yet. They did start building. This is their driveway. They did start building their driveway. So the driveway burned. So that's okay. But you guys will see some charred trees and stuff like that. And that's just because of these darn wildfires. So, it's really, really affected my family. But my parents have pulled through. They have a beautiful house now and they finally have their landscape. My mom has her garden, and so it means more to my family. This house means more because it's kind of like a new start for my parents. And I'm so happy for them that they finally have this and they can kind of settle, you know what I mean? Because the past 5 years have not been settled at all. So anyway, having said that, backstory, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a tour of my parents' new landscaping, and just so that we can see what type of plants that are drought resistant, some of them are deer resistant, and then really just like harsh environment resistant that the landscape designer picked out. Okay, let's go. Okay, so starting off at the driveway area, this is the driveway that burned, but they obviously rebuilt it. The landscape designer picked out 3 plants to kind of flank this driveway. And of course, these are exposed to deer. So these plants had to be completely deer resistant. So the 3 plants, and like I said, I'm gonna butcher these names. So I'll put them on the screen with pictures and everything like that so you guys can see them if you guys are interested in it. But we have an Escalon compacta, we have a coastal rosemary, and then the last one is a grevillea, and she was big on picking out the grevilleas. She must have really liked those or thought that they were really good for this environment because she picked 3 different kind of grevilleas. The other kind that she was really big on was loripedilum. So let's see, what grevillea was that one? This grevillea is Mount Tamboretha. I have the map. Look at how professional. I wish I could do stuff like this. That's so cool. So these are all the names of the flowers that she picked out all around. I'll put that there and you guys can take a screenshot if you want to look at all of them. So again, this is zone 9B and these are all mostly drought resistant. There's a couple of them that aren't because they're around the lawn area, but most of these are drought resistant. Okay, so walking up, we have another grevillea. This one is, I think it's Melonglo. Yeah, Melonglo. So that one. So obviously those aren't flushed out yet. But we can walk up this way and I'll show you guys kind of as we get closer. There's their deer fence right there. And you guys can see over here. So I never visited this area before the wildfire took it over, but you guys can see like there's some burn scars on that tree right there. They had to take down a lot of their trees, and if you drive down the street to get down into town, you can see all the burned trees and everything like that. So they're all going to grow back. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. But this used to be like really wooded and everything like that, and I would assume would have given this area a little bit more protection, but obviously that's all gone now. So it's absolutely gorgeous still. I love it. It's kind of a constant reminder of the wildfires, which is tough. All right, so here's the other plant, the loripedilum. This is jazz hands dwarf white. This is a proven winner's plant, and the landscape architect liked this and told my parents that it is deer resistant, but she's not 100% confident about that. So this is going to be kind of a trial plant to see if the deer here actually eat it or not. So we'll kind of see, if they do, then obviously they'll get a different deer resistant plant for this area. Right behind that is another grevillea, and that one is Grevillea noelli. So I'll put a picture of that one as well. Okay, trying to move slow. Right up here, this tree right here is a sour gum tree, which my mom and I are really excited about. And obviously it's just kind of a baby. And what the plan is my mom wants to limb this tree up so that there's, you know, a lot of area under here that's shaded. But Katie, I'm just gonna call her Katie, she's a landscape designer. She was explaining to my mom that a lot of people will limb up their trees too soon, and what that does is that it doesn't allow the trunk of the tree to get nice and strong and firm. So you don't want to start limbing up a new tree like this until like 2 years or something like that, just to allow the tree to get super strong. So they're just going to leave that there for 2 years, and then they'll start limbing it up as it gets taller and taller. So that should be absolutely gorgeous right there. And then all along the front of their house right here, these are crepe myrtles, muskogee, and obviously they haven't leafed out yet, but they will be really pretty even when they're blooming. Okay, turning, so there's the deer fence. I just wanted to show you guys. My mom is really big on birds. She loves birds. I always like to get her bird houses or bird feeders for gifts, so you guys will see a ton of bird stuff around here. It's really cute. Okay, so let's go through the deer fence. Oh, and there's her cat. Hey, Buddy. His name is Buddy. Hi. He doesn't like me very much. Hi. You can't come out the fence. You say hi? No. So we obviously, she has to put him on a leash because there's like coyotes and bad guys that'll eat the cat here. So this poor cat is on a leash to go outside. Okay, so you can see my mom started all her seedlings. She went a little bit crazy with tomatoes, obviously. She admits this, so I'm not making fun of her. But those are all her tomatoes. She's got some flowers here. Bells of Ireland, Cosmos, this looks like a Centuria, just everything that she's hardening off and she's going to put in her garden. So again, very exciting just because this is the first year that she actually gets to do something like this. Okay, you guys, this is my mom. Her name is Trish.
Hi.
So she's nervous about being on camera.
Yes, very.
But she agreed to do it. And then she's just going to walk around with me if I have any questions about any of the plants. So everybody say hi to Mom.
Hi.
Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, so you guys can see what I'm talking about my parents liking views. So this is all, what is this, the valley, the Redding Valley? Right. And you guys can't see it because there's clouds, but Mount Lassen is right there, and it's we're looking east right now. And what this is the south side of the house. So
South side of house here, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So this is the hottest part of the house. So obviously Katie picked out all the, I don't know if you say hardiest or strongest handling with the sun and the heat on this side of the house. So again, everything is new. Everything was just put in, but you can see it's going to look really pretty. So Mom, what's this grass here?
That's a very good question. Hold on. I'm still learning all these different grasses here.
So here I can see up there's more loropetalum. I'll put the variety name, but this one kind of looks like the one that I have. It has the dark red foliage and then the bright fringe. And I just really like this one because I think it's so pretty. It brings a contrast. You can even see like the native grass behind there. They're basically weeds, but the contrast is really pretty. So I'll show you guys over here. You can see some more trees with burn scars and stuff like that. But very pretty. Okay, so looking over, this is their living room right here and their kitchen in there. And so this is kind of like my house that's on the south side. It has this wall that is just super hot, with the south facing. Can you guys see my dad in the window? He's hiding. Just like Jason. Jason's in there hiding too. Okay, so these obviously have to withstand the most heat. So this is an Indian hawthorn right here. And then these two are two different types of buddleias. What is it? Buzz magenta?
I believe that's a buzz magenta. Right.
And then what was the other one?
That's a good haze. No,
Purple haze.
Purple haze.
Purple haze and Buzz Magenta Buddleia. So, you can imagine if they can handle this 9B heat on the south side of the house in front of a wall, the landscape designer must have a lot of faith that these type of plants can handle the heat. So I have no Buddleia in my garden. I want to put Buddleia in my garden. So I'm going to watch and see how these do at my mom's house and then choose the ones I want. I think, what do you have, 4 different kinds of Buddleia here?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes.
So.
Texture pink, purple haze, magenta, and lo and behold.
Okay. And then what's this tree here?
That is an olive tree.
Olive tree. Pretty. That's going to be so pretty. So
That's
on
a Swan Hill.
Swan Hill olive, how tall is it going to get?
That is going to get about 10 feet.
Okay. So Swan Hill olive, that's going to get about 10 feet tall. It's pretty cool because on the way up here, the drive up here from Davis to Redding, you go through like olive country, and there's orchards, like I guess you call it orchards, tons and tons and tons of olive trees, and there's a couple towns that pride themselves in their olive oil and stuff like that. So it's kind of olive country up here, and olive oil country. So you guys can see this gorgeous view. Again, it's a little overcast, but it feels beautiful. Okay, so right here in the middle, kind of as like the focal point, is this magnolia gem. And the magnolia gem is a dwarf, but it's going to get 25 feet tall eventually. Little gem. Magnolia little gem. So it's going to be beautiful. And obviously it's in the middle of their grass. They had to put, they didn't have to put grass here, but you guys wanted to put grass here
to cool it off.
To cool everything, because everything's so hot up here, especially during the summer. So I think the lawn will help with that. And then, oh yeah, you guys look. Yeah. There must be a nest. I don't want to scare it away. Can you guys see that hummingbird? So this is a maple.
Yes.
Is that right? You guys see this? How cute. Let's see how close I can get. Very cute. Okay, so these are maples. Autumn blaze, Mom?
I think they're autumn flame, actually.
Okay, so autumn flame. So there's 2 autumn flames right here, and then
they're autumn blaze.
okay, there's 2. Bear with us, you guys. This is brand new landscape. So there's 2 autumn flame maple trees, and then autumn blaze maple trees, and then
because
the
they
little
only get to 30 feet.
Okay. 2 maple trees, and then the little gem magnolia, and then my mom's planting some annuals right there. So that will be absolutely beautiful. And then they said that they're going to do like a pergola here to even help with the shade a little bit. So really, really pretty. Gorgeous, gorgeous. You guys are spoiled. She knows it. Okay, so here we have kind of like an annual bed area. It has some penstemon in it already, which penstemon is like the classic hot weather, drought-resistant plant, and then filled in a little bit with woolly thyme right there. Yes. So when we go to winter gardens, hopefully later today, we're going to look and see if we can find any annuals that we can put in there. But it's still early, so we might only find some cool season annuals. And winter gardens I think they got pretty affected by the frost that we had last week. So I don't even know if they'll have very much to choose from. So we'll see. Isn't this gorgeous? So once everything fills in, this is going to be like a magazine. Very pretty, Mom.
Thank you.
All right. So this is her, your bird garden?
Yes.
So this is the main thing I wanted to show you guys, because this is the fountain I always talk about. This fountain, this is the Juliet fountain from Campagna International, and I'm obsessed with it. You got it for your birthday last year?
Yes.
Yeah. So we actually found this at Wintour Gardens, and then, of course, she fell in love, and of course, I fell in love, and I want it. I want to put this in my kitchen garden area, right in front of my living room window, and I just love the sound of it, and I think I need it for my pollinators. So, Jason, if you're watching this, I want this. Eventually. So you can see Mom loves birds, bird houses, bird feeders.
Oh, I've got more to put back here.
She has more to put back here, and there's Stanley sniffing around. So this is a crepe myrtle.
Oh, this is the petite orchid.
Petite
the
orchid crepe myrtle.
That's my.
What color are those blooms?
They're going to be pink.
Pink, very pretty. So I'll have to come back when it's all flushed out and blooming and everything like that. We've got more loropetalum. We have some white, I was looking at white, lots of lantana. That's another one that she put in, was a ton of lantana. But this one doesn't look like it's doing very well.
Well, actually, it's just coming back now.
Oh, okay.
It is. It's just starting to leaf out.
Okay.
So it is actually doing very well.
So this is one of the creeping lantanas. So loropetalum, lantana, penstemon, crepe myrtle, you know, it's kind of agastache. There's a lot of really common or the same ones that they do. And then this is a euonymus.
Yes.
Right there.
Greenspire.
Greenspire euonymus for structure. This wall right here hides all their pool equipment and everything. Okay, you guys, last thing I wanted to show you, this is behind the pool. Lamandra grass, she used a lot of that. And then Proven Winners Superbena. So that's a really good one that handles the heat. I'll put the varieties on here. She looks like she did purple and pink alternating.
Dark blue and raspberry.
Dark blue and raspberry. Superbena dark blue, and then Superbena raspberry. And then the Lamandra grass behind it. Very pretty. So it's gonna look absolutely gorgeous once it all fills in. Okay, you guys, so that's it for today. I just wanted to give you guys a quick peek at my parents' new landscaping. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. I'll put in a before photo right here so you guys can see what it looked like before they did all of this. It basically was just dirt and rock for, a year or two. So this is amazing. This is the first time that I've seen this, and I'm really, really happy for them. And you can hear the birds chirping and everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful to see what a professional landscape designer picks out for a hot area like this. It's interesting for me to see what she leans towards, like the loropetalum and the grevillea, and even the Superbena. It's kind of cool to see that, she leaned heavily on that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please consider subscribing, and I hope you all have a chance to get into your garden today.